I just spent 7 nights on the Norwegian Aqua and I can't wait to share with you what I've learned. In this video, we're going to talk about cabins, dining, entertainment, activities, what I think Norwegian got right and what I think Norwegian got wrong. Let's start with cabins. So on the Norwegian Aqua, you have a wide range of choices. Let me give you a tour of our cabin, which was cabin 9146, a family balcony. The first thing I noticed when entering the cabin was the bed. The underneath the bed area was completely open and completely visible, which is great. Secondly, you have your panel that you can do not disturb, clean your room, and do your temperature. Inside the bathroom, this is a great bathroom. It has lots of storage, the shelves up there with plenty of storage. You have a small drawer right here. You have 2 more shelves underneath there, a nice large sink, but the shower steals the show. This is a great sized shower, and the door tucks in, so it gives you plenty of room in the bathroom and the handheld shower head. Inside the closet, you have a nice long storage, and then you have a shorter storage with the safe and a couple like baskets that you can pull in and out. So that was perfect for like underwear, bathing suits. And then you have the same thing on the other side. It does have a shelf you can move up and down depending on whether you need more hanging storage or more shelf storage. Like if you're someone who uses a lot of packing cubes, you probably want more of the shelves, but then you have the drawers underneath there as well. So really good storage here. I think it would be enough for a family. On the wall, you have a couple more shelves, and this is the desk area with the drawer there and the mini fridge. The hair dryer is located under the desk. I love when they do this. It makes it so convenient. And then you have a small mini fridge. We had prearranged some waters. That's why you see all these waters everywhere. You can buy a water package in advance. You have the sofa. What makes this a family balcony is that sofa does pull out. So it can sleep up to 4 people, 2 of them on the sofa. Next to the bed, you have an outlet. Yay. For those with CPAPs, you have your own nightstand with a drawer on one side. And then on the other side, you just have shelves. So it's not exactly the same on both sides, but you saw you had the big TV, which was great. Lots of channels. We were able to get the NFL championship games on board. I love the balcony furniture. It's a very comfortable balcony, but it is not private. Right below you is deck 8. So on the outside of deck 8 is a seating area. People can easily look up into your balcony. Also below you is the theater. We did get some noise from the evening production shows. So highly recommend the family balcony. Probably would rethink the location if you're sensitive to noise or want a more private balcony. Comparing cabins based on price, location, and amenities can be overwhelming. I'm Angie, a cruise specialist. I've been on 116 cruises on a dozen different cruise lines, and I help travelers just like you make great decisions for their next cruise vacation. Email Angie at tripswithangie.com and ask about the current special for YouTube subscribers. Up next, I want to talk about dining. This is another thing I get a lot of questions about when it comes to Norwegian. There's complimentary dining options on board, and specialty dining options on board would have an extra charge. So let's go through all of those. Each day in your program, it will list all of the restaurants in 2 sections. Complimentary is on top, and it tells you for the morning, afternoon, and the evening what restaurants are available and what times they'll be open. Every day for dinner, you have 2 choices for your a la carte dinner, meaning you order from a menu. The Commodore room is located down on deck 6. It's a little bit smaller, a little bit less busy at times. Hudson's is located up on deck 7 and has an incredible aft view. It's a little more popular because it's open daily for a la carte breakfast, lunch on sea days, and then dinner. At lunch, we had a great spinach Caesar salad, a delicious mushroom soup, a great chicken picante, and then my husband ordered this wild Monte Cristo sandwich where the whole thing was deep fried. For quicker service, you can head to the Indulge Food Hall. This is an awesome concept where there's a number of different restaurants all in one place. So you have all different types of cuisines. So you have tapas cuisine, noodles, Asian, you have barbecue, you have great tables both inside and outside. You'll notice that all of the tables have iPads on them. This is how you're going to order your meal. You can order from any of these stands. Here you can see the Seaside Rotisserie that has a great turkey sandwich, and they'll bring it right to your table. You don't need to stand in line. You don't need to move from one place to another. It all comes right to you. So it's like having 8 different restaurants all deliver to your table. I absolutely love it. The only thing you have to get up for is the desserts. Those you have to come and get yourself, but otherwise, everything else you can order through the iPad. It's all included free of charge. The Indian is our absolute favorite. They have their own ovens so they can make incredible naan. Now, some things are only available for dinner. It is open for breakfast, lunch, and dinner, but breakfast is a buffet. So it's not ordering off the iPads at breakfast. They have different stations. So here was Indian breakfast. They have different pastries that you can grab and go, fruits available, then your standard pre-made omelets, sausage, bacon. And then here is if you're going for lunch or dinner, you'll have this iPad that I was talking about before. You can bring up the different items. It'll tell you what's involved with it, show you what it looks like. And then it really looks like that when it comes. So this is the turkey sandwich. Highly recommend from the rotisserie. We also absolutely love the chicken korma from the Indian place. Definitely try a lot of the Indian dishes. I think it's one of the best things on the ship. The Mediterranean Goddess Bowl, they have a lot of vegetarian options here at the food hall. I know that's a challenge sometimes for cruisers is to find vegetarian options. This is going to be a good place to come. The Observation Lounge also has snacks. This is up on deck 17 in the front part of the ship. They have a continental breakfast and then snacks throughout the day. Surfside is the buffet, and it is very small for the size of the ship. If you love a huge buffet, you are not going to be happy on this Norwegian Aqua. But they have a lot of different options every day. They have different types of pizza. They have the salad bar. You saw before they had pasta. Some days they had noodle bars. And then also all the way at the back of the buffet is a grill with hamburgers, hot dogs, and all of the fixings that you could want. You can also special order a turkey burger or a vegetarian burger. The local is another included options where you sit down and order off a menu. It's open 24 hours and it has a great modern look and vibe. It's right next to a bar. Great place for a late night chicken wing. We like to go for breakfast, especially if you're an early riser and want to have an earlier breakfast. This is the place you're going to want to go. It was just pretty standard. The eggs, I think, were liquid eggs, but they tasted good. A solid option overall. You can also opt to sit outside or sit in the bar area if you're watching a game on TV. Now, for specialty, again, that's all highlighted in the program with the corresponding per person price. The thing to remember is they will add an additional 20% gratuity onto that, or you can use a voucher through the Free at Sea promotion. Cagney's is the steakhouse and one of the most popular options on Norwegian. This version has a modern look with very colorful furniture. My favorite things I had were the grilled thick cut bacon and the filet mignon, of course. That's why people go, is absolutely for the steaks. Hazuki is the teppanyaki or hibachi restaurant. This is where the chefs cook right in front of you with fried rice and vegetables and different proteins and seafood. Le Bistro is the French restaurant. You do need pants if you're a gentleman to come to this restaurant. It has French favorites like escargot, sole, Mediterranean sea bass. Las Lobos is the Mexican specialty restaurant and one of my favorites on board. I love that it has outdoor seating and the bright, colorful restaurant. It had my best dish of the whole cruise, which was the enchilada mole. So don't sleep on Las Lobos. Another option is Onda. It also has outdoor seating as well as indoor. This is the Italian restaurant and another one of our favorites. The bolognese cannot be beat as far as I'm concerned. I also love their stromboli rolls. If you want to head up and have a beautiful view for sunset, Palomar is the seafood restaurant. It has a terrific menu of all different kinds of seafood, and it also has outdoor seating right next to the pool deck. The seafood starter, the seafood cocktail, was phenomenal. The Sukhothai is a brand new concept on the Norwegian Aqua. It's a Thai restaurant. You can choose to sit at the counter. Again, this would be a great place for sunset, and the fried shrimp was some of my favorites. Now, another seafood option that we didn't get to is Nama. This is the sushi and sashimi restaurant. And not a specialty per se, but there is a Starbucks on board. It does work with your Starbucks account. You can use your app. You just need to be connected to the Wi-Fi. And upcoming, I'm going to do individual reviews of all the specialty restaurants that I ate at so you can see an in-depth look at the menus, what I liked, what I didn't like. So be sure to subscribe so you get those right into your feed. Another big question I get is about activities and entertainment on board. So let's talk about those. Once again, the daily program is going to be your best friend. It will give you what time and the name of all the activities as well as their location. They have all kinds of activities from trivias to workshops to Q&As to dance classes, pamper parties. Some things are paid, some things are included. If it has an asterisk, that's how you'll know it's going to be an extra charge. Down in the atrium, that is where a lot of the trivias take place. There's also a bullseye bar where you can play darts right here on board and it keeps track for you. This is up on deck 18, about midship. If we head to the front of deck 18, we're going to find the Aqua Park. This is definitely for little kids. I love how it's set apart. So it's out of kind of the noise and chaos of the main pool deck. It has lots of bubblers and sprays that come up. And you also have a few of the smaller slides. This is going to be a great area that you can take the little ones to. Glow Court is your basketball court plus. So they took your regular old basketball court, added a bunch of lights, a bunch of interactions. So you have all types of games you can play day or night. The Aqua Coaster shoots you up along the side of the ship and all the way around. If you love thrills, another great one is going to be the dry drop slide that drops you down off the side of the ship all the way down to deck number 8. Up on deck 17, again, we have all kinds of games you can play, shuffleboard, foot soccer, ping pong. All of it's free of charge. You just come up and grab a paddle or whatever you need. The pickleball court is a cage and it's a little bit smaller than regulation. You also have a tea time golf course. It is $5 per person, but it's fully interactive. You can get different points. They have different challenges on the holes. Things with like they'll ask you a question and whether you putt through true or false is whether or not you'll get extra points or have the ability to even get a hole in one. It is over 2 decks and New York is the last hole. Now down to the pool deck. Now this is where a lot of people spend their days. It is a bit small for the size of the ship, as you can see here. If you'd like to spread out a little more, I recommend heading down to deck 8. This is the best deck to be outside. There's so many places to hang out. So you can see there's just rows of lounge chairs, a great place to get sun or shade because you can duck under the overhang. Both sides of deck 8 also have an infinity edge pool that you can hang out in. This looks like a whirlpool, but it's not. It's cold. So you can have a nice refreshing shower and then pop into the infinity edge pool. This has incredible views as you're sailing away because you're so much closer to the water. And there's one on starboard side and one on port side. Now these do get a little crowded, but everywhere in the pools is crowded on the Aqua. I just wanted to tell you the truth. And then just behind this is that indulge food hall. So you're right next to food. If you head towards the front of the ship, you're going to find the ocean walk where you can walk and look straight down into the ocean. And all the way forward, you're going to find La Terraza, which is this perfect place to find a quiet seat and just enjoy the sea views. Some of the extra charge activities I think are worth it are the behind the scenes tour. So this is scenes from the galley kitchens that we saw on the behind the scenes tour, and the Vibe Beach Club. This is an adults only exclusive area of the ship. You pay for a week-long pass, a cruise-long pass, and it's fantastic. The loungers are super comfortable. You have whirlpools on either side of the ship. You have umbrellas, and it's just a much higher level of service. It's much calmer than being at the pool bar. Very chill. The bartenders are excellent. They have specialty cocktails that you can only get in the Vibe, and then they add these special touches like fruit or chilled towels. I absolutely think it's worth it. We get it every time we cruise. Another place that will take your money is the casino. There's a very large non-smoking casino and then a smaller smoking casino. There is also a cigar lounge if you smoke cigars. There are jewelry stores and all types of shopping on boards, from super high-end luxury watches down to souvenirs, all embroidered with the Norwegian logo. One thing I think Norwegian does right is all the activities. I love that you could sit in the atrium and just roll from one activity to another, a trivia to a dance class to a game. So I think that's a lot of fun. I think having the game center is really great. There just isn't a lot if your kid loves to be in the pool. I think the pool deck is so small for the size of the ship. Now they do have the 2 infinity beach areas, which I showed you before, but that's not that fun main Lido deck pool vibe that a lot of people like from other cruise lines. Now, when it comes to entertainment, In the evening, you will have a lot of choices of things to do, from the glow court hoops to game shows to shows in the theater till different music all around the ship. One of our absolute favorite shows was the Prince Revolution show in the Aqua Theater. You want to get there early. We also love the Price is Right Live. You do need reservations for this show. And then the Aqua Theater turns into a nightclub on many of the nights. So if you like to dance the night away, you're going to love this. It doesn't get started until after the last theater show. The Improv is where all the comedy takes place. Again, you'll need to line up a little bit in advance. Sid Norman's is your place for rock. If you love rock, you're absolutely going to love this. They will post outside what the shows are going to be. Doors open 45 minutes before showtime. They showed football on the big screen. They also have movies throughout the cruise. We love the guitar player. They have the guitar players or the duo in the different bars for your pre-dinner or during dinner entertainment. And then the Metropolitan Bar in the evening, there is a sing-along piano player. That was a lot of fun. Sid Norman's continues to be a challenge. It's such a small venue and so many people want to go. The one thing I don't love is that you do have to wait in line quite a bit if you want to go to any of the shows, lining up a half an hour before for the main theater shows. You also have to line up for the Improv and Sid Norman's. I absolutely love the Price is Right. I think the reason they do reservations there is so that they can just monitor who's in the room. So when they pick the contestants, but it's a really fun show and I highly encourage you to go, and be sure to pick up your name tag at the box office the afternoon before the show. So what's my final verdict? I loved the cruise. We had a really good time. The food was very good. The service was fantastic. I still think there's a big issue on that pool deck. The fact that you have to walk through the main buffet just to get to the grill. I don't like that there isn't a place you can just walk up in your bathing suit and grab a slice of pizza or a burger like you can on so many other cruise lines. I think it's really a miss for Norwegian. I think that the game area with the tea time, the mini golf, the ping pong, and the basketball is awesome, but I know a lot of folks really prefer having a large number of water slides like you would find on a Royal Caribbean ship like the Icon or the Oasis of Sea class ships. So if your family is into games more, I think you would like the Norwegian Aqua better, but if your family is really into having like 5 to 10 water slides, I think you would probably like Royal Caribbean better. But those are the kind of decisions I help you make when you book your cruise with me. The other piece that I think Norwegian can work on is the app. So the app is basically just a PDF of the paper you get in your room. And so it's not really updated when there's changes in the schedule. We were really frustrated because one of the favorite events that Norwegian does is the Ocean Fest, where they bring all the musicians on board to jam together, and it's phenomenal. We have loved it on every Norwegian cruise we've been on. The program said it was going to be at 10:45 one night, and then we got to the theater and there was a comedy show instead. And it wasn't updated in the app. Guest services had no idea what was going on. So that was a little frustrated. So I think they can continue to make improvements in the app to make it more dynamic. So when there are last minute changes, it's a little bit easier to figure out how and why. If you do drink alcohol, I was very impressed with the included free at sea offers. I know they just launched a free at sea more package. I didn't feel like we needed it. There's so many different brands included for $15 a cocktail and below. We had no problem finding options we liked, and we even got to try some new things that we've never had before. I also love that they switched the location of the whiskey bar and the Belvedere bar. So the Belvedere bar is now on deck 8. It just makes so much more sense to have a much larger bar that offers a wide range of cocktails and then move the whiskey bar down next to Hazuki. All right, so those are my thoughts on the Norwegian Aqua. Have you sailed? What did you think? Let me know. If you want to learn more about the Norwegian Aqua, I have my dining series where I reviewed all of the specialty restaurants. Our cruise also stopped at Great Stirrup Cay.